Hi, I'm Alec. This is Trev, and in the center is AJ. Welcome to seasons 2
Hi.
of the Beanscast. On the Beanscast, we discuss whatever has been destroying our brains this past week. If you enjoy hearing us ramble, click the subscribe button, ring the bell, like the video, do all those YouTube things so you know when we post a new episode. Uh,
Thanks.
AJ is here in person today. I mean, he's always kind of in person, but he's real. We can see him.
I'm visual this week. I'm part of the video podcast now.
Which I feel like would imply to people that we're going to talk about Pokemon, but there is no Pokemon on the docket.
We're actually
I'm
not.
just here.
There's no video games on the docket at all.
The Pokemon thing never was actually a rule. It's just a rule that makes me feel better about intruding on your show.
I don't think it's intruding. I think you're one of the hosts.
It's yeah.
Hey, that's fair.
At this point,
The not so secret third host.
Yeah, it was a secret.
So we're just gonna make like a Republican legislator from Colorado and just get right on in there.
LOL.
Oh god.
LOL. What a segue.
That's a crazy way to say that.
Time to talk about everyone's favorite representative, Lauren Boebert. LoBo. So, as we all may remember from last week, big news, LoBo got kicked out of a theater.
Beetlejuice.
A touring company of Beetlejuice. So, very all ages appropriate musical for smoking, recording,
vaping,
and making noise. Yeah, vaping.
And making noise.
Which she denied. And
right,
then,
that's so great.
And then they're like, "We have you on video."
How do you deny that?
Well, because I don't think she knew the video existed, so it's like a he said she said situation.
Yeah, she was denying.
And then the
vaping.
theater's like, "Oh, bet."
Anything else?
That is the strat. Deny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she said that she wasn't taking video, that she was taking photos or whatever, but she didn't know it was against the rules. So, like, really, I'm just innocent. And
plausible deniability.
Never been to a theater ever in her life, apparently.
Ever. Never once.
Or I wouldn't be surprised by that. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all.
That's possible.
Republicans are probably scared of theaters now.
That's true.
Yeah, well, a lot of gay stuff happens at theaters.
Also that, but I was going in
guns.
Sure. Yeah, I was going in the Abraham Lincoln direction.
But so, something
I heard somebody say that's why they had the cameras after the Abe Lincoln situation. That shit killed me.
So the theater released the video, or someone. I don't know if the theater did it, but the video is out there now.
The theater did, because it was a he said she said, and the theater's like, it doesn't actually have to be. We actually have really high quality like night vision video.
Damn, they got Democrats at the theater. They're everywhere.
I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to say that they 100% did.
It was the left.
But
the left.
It was Joe Biden.
It was Joe Biden. Joe clicked the little button on his desk that said release footage of LoBo.
Said do the thing, yeah.
In the footage, not only is she doing all the things that they kicked her out for, she is also very much got her hands all up in her date's crotch. Just some
rubbing
real intense
frantically
over the pants.
Man,
action.
That's what you're supposed to do at theaters. What are you talking about?
Well, as he is groping her chest.
Yeah.
Also, very clearly.
Very clearly.
Reciprocation. I didn't know. Okay, hold on. I was going to meme that I was like giving them an out, but they're not supposed to do that. The reciprocation is not a Republican thing.
That's true.
That's true.
She should be okay not getting anything.
Yeah. Exactly.
True. Well, that was for him. Don't lie.
True.
That was for him. Like, let's not pretend.
That's true.
That's true. They don't feel anything there.
I mean, maybe he was just checking for breast cancer. She was just checking for testicular cancer.
At that moment.
At that exact moment. It's just a cancer screening. That's all it was. Checking for lungs.
It's just so wild that because you won't hear shit from the Save Protect the Kids crowd about this.
Oh no.
Which again, there were like certainly kids in the audience. I mean,
theaters are dark, man, and kids can't see it in the theater. It's too dark for kids.
But if there was if either of them were trans individuals, right, this would have been like an insane.
Yeah, them being
would have led Fox News.
Them being there would have been like, how dare you show yourself as a trans person in the public,
dude.
Like,
It's crazy.
I just can't
the
believe
fact
this
that the
shit.
person that called the theater security on her was the pregnant woman who asked her to stop vaping in front of her.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It's insane.
But who is this mystery man? I didn't pull any sources for this. I've read lots of stuff. I don't have anything in front of me. But so I don't know this guy's name. He owns a bar.
Yeah.
In Colorado that puts on a lot of LGBTQ friendly events. He's got like drag shows.
They've done drag shows there.
Yeah, he's had like lesbian nights, like all sorts of things. Which I think
lesbian nights are fine, to be clear. That's different.
Which I think just proves that straight people are not allowed to call themselves an ally. You have to be
you're gonna be an ally and date Lauren Boebert?
Exactly.
Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly. You must be
anointed.
Yeah, by the community. Yeah, truly.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
You don't get to
just being serious. That wasn't.
I think that's fair.
But yeah, so this guy who is very fine making money from people in the LGBTQIA plus community, but also very fine copping a feel on a woman who believes that all those people should be shot.
Yes.
Hey man, it's not me, it's her.
Yeah. We just disagree politically. You know, when this didn't used to be such a thing.
Just a little bit. Just
like you're not allowed to disagree fundamentally with your partner.
Yeah.
Your partner's beliefs, they can't be separate entirely from your own.
I don't know.
Agree with them? That's crazy.
The hypocrisy is, I always I tell Eva, my girlfriend, not to focus on trying to figure out the logic, because it's a futile attempt.
It doesn't exist
because it doesn't exist. You break your brain, right?
Yeah.
But for her quote, and again, her quote was when she was asked about if she would keep seeing the guy. And kind of reflecting on the night was ultimately all future date nights have been canceled. And I learned to check party affiliations before you go on a date.
Damn. It's crazy.
It's just,
I can't even have a feel in a movie theater these days. It's crazy.
That's great. It wasn't even a movie theater.
Oh, yeah, true. That's true. And that changes everything.
I think people would have more understood that, to be quite honest with you.
Oh yeah, I think if this had happened at a screening of Oppenheimer, people would have been like, "Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, we get it.
It's real long in the middle. It's real boring."
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I can't. And again, I'm not gonna try to figure out the logic because you can't. But it's just it's one of those things. Any one of these events is enough to break my brain, because it's how are you we're the party of family and morals and values and stuff like that, and then you can just skate over this it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that the problem with that thought process is you're assuming that on any level they put any actual thought into the thing that they did while they were doing it, and not them just trying to put out a fire. It's not, they don't believe any of this shit. They just think that that's the closest thing that they can get to an explanation.
Well, I mean, the whole her pivoting immediately to be I've canceled the dates and I need to make sure I check party affiliations that's polling. She knows all I have to do is be I fucked up because he's a Democrat.
Exactly.
It'll do well with her base.
Yeah. So it's there is the logic there is that she knows people that are her constituents are stupid enough to be yeah, that makes sense. That's fair.
True. Right.
If I got caught with a Democrat I too would be in this situation.
I just think it's I mean, obviously Fox News has not been covering this. They did not run a LoBo at the theater special.
It's crazy. I needed to see that graphics package. I need those animations.
And she almost lost last year. She is
very in a race that she was almost guaranteed to win.
Yeah,
pretty unanimously.
She will most likely lose this coming year. That is almost a guaranteed flip. Because it's the same guy running. So he's got name recognition, and no matter if Fox
So
News
does
is not,
she.
but no matter if Fox News is not picking this up,
Yeah.
local news will be picking this up, and is, and so old people watch local news.
Yeah,
True.
but like, do we think that the people who are gonna vote for like her to begin with, potentially, like if she's a serious candidate in their mind, is this gonna be like, oh well, this is where I draw the line?
I think that it will affect enough people. I'm not talking like 4% of the vote or anything,
But
I'm
like,
talking
it
like
was literally
half a
1%.
percent. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't even a full
I don't
percent.
know. I don't know, because I feel like that's assuming that even their morals are consistent.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
I think if Lauren Boebert is a serious candidate for you, I don't know what she would have. It's like Donald Trump, right? When Donald Trump was like, I could stand on Fifth Avenue and shoot a guy and still get elected. He meant that. We now know like how true that is.
Yeah.
Where it's like if he's already your like, it's like when the liberals go like, oh, this surely will be the thing. It's like, no,
The
there
thing
is
that's
no
crazy
thing.
is like I don't even think he came up with that. I bet somebody
No.
said that to him, and he's like, you know what?
and he liked it. He liked the way it sounded.
He did the villain thing. He's like, that's stupid. But if I went up to Fifth Avenue
I'm
and
pretty
shot
sure that's
someone-
in a TV show from the early 2000s. Like I'd have to go back, but I'm pretty sure that that's a quote from a TV show or a movie that he has.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He has amended, or a staff writer amended for him.
Mm-hmm. I would not be surprised.
But yeah, that's the antics of LoBo. She just she had a real wacky evening.
Need a
Having
jingle.
said all that, I could fix her. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry.
Oh God. All right, this is down to a 2-man podcast. I didn't make a screen that's just AJ and I, but like I can make that real quick.
So you weren't prepared. You weren't prepared for that.
I will be next week. I will be. After you pull that shit, I will be. Oh,
True.
no.
I forgot about that.
Oh, the soundboard.
I need to plug
I
my
did it to myself.
need to plug my stream deck back in.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna talk. The main event tonight is about my home state being extra cringe. We're talking about Wisconsin. And we're talking about Wisconsin's gerrymandering first, because that is kind of a primer for what we're going to talk about first, or what we're going to talk about in the main body here. Wisconsin is probably the most gerrymandered state in the nation, because
Intentionally. It's not an accident.
Yeah, intentionally. We are a state
Gerrymandered.
Yeah. Yo, oops, all gerrymandered.
Oops, all gerrymandered. We are a state that, like, when you look at things like electing a president, which aren't, which are the whole state, it's about a 50-50 state. But Republicans have a supermajority in our state legislature. How does that happen? Really, really intentionally drawn maps. So there's this article from a guy who...
They're just better at turf war, man. They're just better.
Yeah,
at
better at turf war is crazy.
Better at turf war. So in 2022, the last national election cycle, this guy looked at the maps and predicted that Republicans would win 63 of the 99 assembly districts in Wisconsin. And they won 64, including all those 63 that he said would go to. So it's not like he just like guessed a number. He was like, these specific ones will be
the Rain Man. He was Rain Man.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just very evident. It's just very clear. So the system is very rigged. It's why we often end up with a Democrat governor and then a entire Republican run house. It's because in actuality, the people who are going to vote with Democrats outnumber statewide the people who are going to vote with Republicans, but the districts are drawn in a way that Republicans will win. Why does
It's almost like
Yeah, no,
Republicans
go
are
ahead.
really good at giving less people more power, disproportionate power.
Shocking.
They're just really
Yeah.
good at that.
Why?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's the
That's
whole
their whole
electoral
shit.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
It's to make the bumblefuck states matter when
Yeah,
they
it's
should have been
insane.
gone a long time
A
ago.
long time ago.
So, the Wisconsin, like, district maps are typically drawn by the state assembly. Then they're approved by the governor, and the governor can provide his own and be like, no, I think this is how we should do it. And then they vote to ratify. They can vote to ratify their own. They don't need to go with the governor's, no, I think you should do this.
The governor can be like, nah, actually, fuck that. And they can be like, no, actually, fuck you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, cool.
So
cool,
no,
cool.
actually, fuck you is where we live. And so they've been challenged in court many times, but Wisconsin, for over 20 years, has had a right-leaning majority in our state Supreme Court. We elect our Supreme Court. A spot came open of one of those right-leaning justices. And by an 11-point margin,
That's huge.
11 points, Wisconsinites voted for Janet Protasiewicz, who is a Democrat. This was one of the, I think it is
11 points in Wisconsin is huge.
huge. 2 million people turned out. This is an April election.
That's crazy.
An April off-year election. There was nothing else on this ballot besides like real local, like my city government type shit.
So you have to be involved in politics to even like really know what's happening.
Usually,
and then you have to be super involved to fucking show up.
Usually.
Yeah, usually. Right. Clearly,
And that I think
this
that
time.
adds like a whole nother layer to it too, because usually the people that know that kind of shit are like old people, Republicans.
Oh, yeah.
That are like in the
They're
nitty
retired
gritty of like
individuals
those
who have
kinds
a
of
lot of
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. They're the people who run my HOA because they're the only people who have time to show up to the fucking HOA meetings. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they want,
That's the reason
matters
why the
disproportionately.
HOA exists.
Yeah.
Is fucking oh my god. Yeah. Anyways, go on, Alec.
So this was the most expensive state Supreme Court race in history.
Like
because of-
advertising
Because of how much
all
money
that.
Democrats and Republicans spent. So
Sure,
theoretically,
sure.
a Wisconsin state Supreme Court election is nonpartisan.
Uh-huh.
But
Mhm.
no courts have been nonpartisan for decades and decades. It's how we're in the mess we're in. Is Republicans went, wait, if we just put all our guys into courts, then
they'll never win.
then they'll never win any challenges, and we could just do all the crazy shit we fucking want.
Republicans been playing the long game for a long
time.
Yeah, because they know the writing is on the wall. They would not exist
Mhm.
if they did not do that.
So
Yep.
tons
They
of
say
money
it
poured
openly
in.
now.
Yeah. They've been saying it for
Oh, yeah.
since before Trump. That is
Yeah.
like, yo, we can't
If people
not
can
cheat.
vote, we won't win. Like this isn't cool.
We need to raise the voting age to 25.
That's
Because
that's
18-year-olds
fucking
might still
insane.
have some compassion.
Which is also not true because like it actually starts to flip on the inverse if you're over 18, but then if like in a go to college.
Yeah.
Because generally what that really just means, it's not even an education thing, I'm convinced. It's an experience thing. You're
It's meeting other
introduced to
people.
people of other backgrounds
Yeah.
and cultures.
Right.
Exactly. And you're like, oh, they're all just fucking people, it turns out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy how everyone's just actually a person.
Yeah, I think people are more likely to be narrow-minded if they're a townie. Like,
Right.
That's fucking insane.
Because then it's just the echo chamber that you've been in all your life.
yeah,
So
if
it's
you're
like,
40
your
and
life,
you
exactly.
live in the same small to mid-sized town you've lived in your whole life, you're more likely to be someone that probably falls on on the conservative side of the spectrum because your life experience is limited.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're also likely to land on the side of the spectrum that needs federal assistance while hating federal assistance,
True.
which is crazy.
Yeah. Because it's not me that's the problem. It's everyone
It's the
else. I
fucking
wouldn't be
immigrants,
here.
dude.
I wouldn't
They're
be
stealing
here
my
if it
jobs.
wasn't for them.
Yeah. I'd be a millionaire right now if I could just
Exactly.
exploit fucking other people. It would be so easy for me to make all this money.
Uh,
Exactly.
But So because this was super expensive, there were lots of interviews. There was lots of coverage. So there was a
Do they
lot
do
of
debates for this type of thing at all?
There
or
was a
no?
debate. There was one debate,
Okay.
I believe.
Oh, interesting.
But because of all of that, a lot of opinions of both of these potential justices, both these judges, were made public. And the reason
their opinions they hold.
the opinions they hold. The reason Janet Protasevich won is twofold. She believes that abortion should be legal, and she believes that our electoral maps are bullshit.
W.
Because both things
so
are
Wisconsinites
facts.
are fucking sick of the electoral map.
Yes.
Or the gerrymandering.
So when and then so like on abortion, when federally that went out the window, we have like a law in the books from the 1800s that is like doesn't even say the word abortion. But has been used to outlaw abortion.
It kicked in and created a precedent, basically.
Yes.
Sure.
So
hilarious.
11-point split. Obviously, the majority of the people who live in the state wanted her, that voted, but it was still insane turnout. Wanted her to have this position. What did the Democratic Party of Wisconsin do right away? Because they had no chill. They filed lawsuits about abortion. They filed lawsuits about gerrymandering.
Good.
But that's
that's what they should started right away.
Yeah.
Yes, literally.
Because
that's what you were elected to do.
Yeah.
It's like it's the whole strat of like whenever there's like mass shootings and they're like, it's not the time to talk about it now. We're mourning. Because it's like please, we don't ever want to talk about this ever. We want people to forget that this is a thing. Yep.
And I think one of the things I want to point out with this is not a lifetime appointment. Like, she's voted on by the public, and then they have 12 years, which is still a long.
It's a long time.
A long term.
But that's not lifetime. And
but
when
it's
you look
not
at
a
the Supreme
lifetime
Court of the
appointment.
United States, lifetime means like 30, 40 years. I mean, it does mean lifetime.
Yeah. So she's on it for 12 years. It is still narrow. It is still a 4-3. Like 4 of the justices lean to more left thinking, and 3 of them.
And 3 of them want to melt trans people into Soylent Green. Yeah,
exactly.
They don't like Soylent.
It's people. Soylent Green is people.
So Janet gets elected. Janet wants fair maps for the state. Who could that possibly upset?
Who could that piss off?
Could that piss
Republicans.
Off the 64 assembly men and women who are possibly in districts that would not elect them if the maps were drawn fairly?
Reasonably, yeah.
Hey man, fair's
subjective.
Yeah,
in a logical manner. How about that?
That's
logic is subjective too.
Well, but if you've ever looked at the maps, totally. But if you've ever looked at the maps in a place like Wisconsin and like the actual outlines of like, you're like, how the fuck is this a district? Because they'll literally like cut this way, cut this thing out, hard left, hard right, sharp circle. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Ben was right.
It's like that's how you have to.
That's why he called it Wisconsin, because it's bumblefuck. That's the only
Wisconsin.
Yeah, he was right.
But yeah, so basically, Wisconsin Republicans want to impeach her. She has not tried a case yet.
That's crazy.
She has not tried a single case. You know what their grounds for impeachment are?
Yeah, no. What? Because
she expressed her opinions, and she has already tried these cases in her head.
Wait. Okay, but isn't this one of those precedent things where it's like, okay, but if you can impeach a judge based on that, couldn't we impeach any judge ever?
No. Just
not the ones that I like. But
yeah, exactly.
You like though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just you.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. Like, yeah, it could set a precedent, but what they're going to do is like, you don't want to do that. You wouldn't want us to do that to you. It's the same thing as like when they were trying to add more Supreme Court justices with Obama, and they're like, well, we don't want to do that because what if they do that to us? They just want to use that logic.
What if one day we just had like a 90-member Supreme Court?
What if we did?
Just
why
90
is that bad?
I don't think it's bad.
Actually,
I don't think it's bad at all.
Yeah. I think like more, as long as it's not like 90 old white dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think if you had like a 90-person Supreme Court that actually like adequately represented people who have like different life experience,
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
But that's the thing though, because we all know Democrats don't really want that either.
No.
Like, yeah, they also kind of want the Republicans to be in control of that, because then they can just keep the status quo.
Remember that
100%.
that Nancy Pelosi,
I just got it.
a straight white Christian woman, perfectly represents the demographic of San Francisco. Perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of annoying straight white Christian women who are millionaires in San
all
Francisco.
all over.
It's like
that's actually true.
I mean,
that is
actually
actually true. That is actually very true. Like, if you've ever walked in La Jolla, there's a lot of white, annoying, rich women. You know what I'm saying? Go into any coffee shop and you're just like, God, fucking Christ,
of course.
go away.
That's what they make those for.
That's a fact.
You see what Bob's doing in Japan right now?
Is he just at
No,
coffee shop?
That's what they do.
Oh my God. Whatever. Yeah. But
yeah. So they want to impeach her because she expressed her opinion during.
I just don't. I think
campaign.
this is so crazy. This is just so. That's so crazy.
It is. It's stupid. It's fucking idiotic. So here's where we are with it right now. So like right now, it's the Democratic Party of Wisconsin is doing all they can to be like, to phone bank, make sure people like me call our representatives and are like, hey, don't be a dick. I voted for this person.
That's crazy that they can just be like, literally fuck what the people say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Literally.
That's the power you get from a super majority. So like my state assembly person is undecided, which is fucking insane. So they've gotten a phone call from me, but
you should bake him some cookies and write a letter.
Can Red also call? Would that count?
Yes.
Different self. Yeah,
Red needs to call too.
So the state assembly has the votes to do this. If people vote on party lines, even if some people don't, they can do it. The Senate, it's a little tighter. The problem is, if Janet Protasewicz gets impeached, we want it to be the full thing, not half. Because if the state assembly is like, no, we need to impeach her, she cannot do her job. But she is not out. If both of them, if she actually gets impeached and she gets kicked out, Tony Evers, Democrat governor, can just appoint somebody.
Oh, LOL.
So I think that's
what are they? So what's their real goal here then? They don't. I mean,
they want her. They want her just silenced. They want to do that middle ground. They don't want the Senate.
The thing is, but if they, I see what you're saying.
Because if they don't actually get rid of her, but she is in like in the process,
she's holding up the spot. Yeah.
Yes, she is.
And then it's a deadlock.
Yes, exactly. And then it's 3-3, and it's.
Which actually, I think is like kind of to AJ's point. That's probably what Democrats want too.
Probably.
Because ultimately, generally, and I will say on a state level, there is some people who are doing a better job. Like the one woman in Michigan comes to mind who was like, I think it was Michigan, who was like refusing to hear any cases about any laws, about anything
I don't remember where it was. We did a whole fucking episode on this.
I can't remember, where she was just like, I'm not hearing any of this shit until we get rid of this trans bullshit.
Yeah.
Like until y'all stop trying to attack trans children, we're holding up all legislation. So like there are some people doing good work for sure on a state level.
Yeah.
Like, my dad and I just got into a huge fight about this because they're old school Democrats. I can't stand the Democratic parties, regardless of what they actually say lip service. What they do is status quo.
Oh,
that's what they actually do. There's always a fall guy. There's always a reason. Even when Obama had, the Senate and the House, there's always a reason We can't get shit done. It's always that one guy. There's always the one guy. Except there would always be another guy if it wasn't that guy. Cinema, mansion. There's always another guy. It was Joe Lieberman.
We can't get rid of the
Affordable Care
filibuster
Act.
because then what if they don't use what if they get rid of the filibuster?
Yeah.
Like they have
literally
multiple
that.
times? Like
Literally,
they just did?
We don't want them to do it again.
I can't.
We gotta be the bigger guy. You can't go for tit for tat.
We gotta play by the rules because if we stop playing by the rules, they might not play by the rules, bro. They haven't been playing by the rules for fucking
but they're
decades.
gonna make it worse. It's gonna get worse.
They're gonna not play harder by the rules, bro.
I just want a party of dick punchers. Like that's all I want. Just like
I mean, look, they got a party of Mitch McConnell's, and you see how effective that is when you're willing to spend 60 years to get your legislation accomplished. Look how effective it is
to become a turtle demon.
Can't wait for the Grim Reaper to take that man.
Maybe you don't want to do it. Yeah, exactly. He's battling with the Grim Reaper as we speak.
We need somebody though who's willing to do that on this side.
What battle with the Grim Reaper?
I say this side. Who's willing to be that evil? Who's willing to not play by the rules in the name of good? Kind of like, how Batman's like, I play outside the rules, but in the name of good. That's a bad example because fuck Batman.
I feel like the closest we get to that, it's like Bernie Sanders.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I like Bernie Sanders.
I'm not saying he's good at it. I'm just saying it feels like he's the closest one we got.
Sure, I guess.
He's also old as
your
dirt.
Bernies, your AOCs.
Yeah. I got issues with Bernie because I think that I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. Now isn't the time to bring it up. We could have a whole episode about Bernie. But I want a real socialist to run for fucking presidency. And just like, I want to try it for a week. Let's try it for a week. Let's see how everybody feels.
They don't want to try it for a week. They don't want because that's the thing. It's not about it not working. I think it is about it will work. And they don't want it to, because what about mine?
The moment you have any conversation with anyone about socialism, quote unquote, in America, and they're like, "Ugh, gross," and then you say, "Actually, you as a worker, would you like to have a say in where the profits of your company go?" And they're like, "Well, yeah, obviously." Period. End of story.
Yeah.
So actually, you're a socialist.
Everything about it, and they're like, "Yeah, I would like that," but buzzwords.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's like it's easy for us all to understand the concepts of things like. The Medicare tax tripling would still be less than your premium and would get you better insurance. The fact that universal basic income, like when we all got those checks during COVID that everyone was like, these are so cool. Great. These are great.
Actually great.
Or the fact that people who had kids were getting money every month.
Yeah.
And
they're trying to like, it's that talking point thing. They're trying to now blame inflation on the COVID check.
Yeah.
Still. They're like, we sent out those checks during COVID and inflation's just been rampant since then.
Which
go fuck yourself.
Lowest inflation on the globe in our country. Still.
And how many millionaires got COVID loans and then got them forgiven?
Yeah, that's the crazy shit.
That doesn't help. That doesn't contribute to inflation.
No.
Those free millions. No.
But like, and the fact that universal basic income would actually lower a lot of costs nationally. Like a lot of things that we spend money on, we wouldn't have to spend money on anymore. And people still go to work.
They've tried it too, and it works.
Yeah.
They've tried it because they've tried it in so many different
and in
ways.
other countries, it has been tried and it works.
It's that whole thing with like, there's a lot of people who are like, you actually shouldn't donate money to most charities because what most charities refuse to do is give people in need money directly. And all the studies actually show the best way to help people in need is to give them money directly.
Just to hand them money.
Not to give them things. Because it's like, no, we know better. And it's like, actually, you don't. They know what their needs are better than you, actually. So what you should do is just, like Tom's shoes, right? Tom does the whole thing is like, buy a pair. We give a pair to a kid in need in Africa. And it's like, what you're doing is you're putting shoemakers in Africa out of business.
Yep.
Is actually what you're doing. So it's actually not good. What you should just do is take that money you were going to spend on shoes and donate it to people directly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just...
Anyways, though, we've strayed.
Need to get a socialism rant banner that pops up.
It's so frustrating because you hear like every complaint that everyone has, not every complaint, but like it would solve a lot of these class related issues. Like, because the class related issues are just the ruling class being like, you actually deserve less. And I'm going to take as much from you as I possibly can and squeeze as much out of you as I possibly can. And things like universal basic income would really help with a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they know that. And that is
of
the
course.
problem.
Well, and because one of the things that
Because
happens
they like
in those-
class, because they're winning that.
Yes,
They're like, I
they're
don't want to
winning.
change this game. I'm winning. What?
One of the things
I'm winning
that,
capitalism.
that
I'm good at Monopoly. How dare you want to play something else?
one of the things that the universal basic income studies show, and that corporations really don't want, is it gives power to people to be more flexible with their jobs. You hate your fucking job, your job teaches you like shit, you can quit and you'll be okay while you go find a new one, or you go back to school, because you're still getting
back
money.
in my day, we suffered for our entire lives at a job we hated because that showed that we cared.
And that's the thing that's so frustrating, because that whole group of the back in my day people, where it's like, you suffered through pushing a broom for 40 years and you hated it. And I get that. You know what you also had, though?
And I bought a house with that.
A house.
Literally.
And maybe a pension.
One. Yes, and I have a pension. So it's like, yeah, okay, man, I could suffer. That's what the quiet quitting thing, which is bullshit. But like, that's the whole thing. It's like, there is no future. There is no American dream. So it's like, what do you want these people to literally give you their lives for? It's like, what are they getting out of this?
Yeah, and it's like when companies talk about like, there's no loyalty to the company anymore. It's like, you used to tell people that you were going to pay them till they died for 30 years of work.
Literally. And you know what's so frustrating is, like, a lot of the companies, because pensions have gotten a bad rap. You know, they're anti-company. They're bad for companies. Companies go bankrupt. It's like, actually, I think companies probably go bankrupt because of pensions, because they're poorly managed, and because a lot of these companies are doing things that they shouldn't be doing with these profits, i.e. stock buyback type situations. Now, there definitely have been instances with government employees who are able to negotiate unreal pensions for themselves that there were employees, like I remember in Detroit, and because I know a guy who was in the fire department, he made more money once he retired than he did working. And it's like, this is not, you guys got too sweetheart of a deal here. So like, there are certainly some situations where the pensions were written in a way that was a little too labor friendly. But again, those were firefighters. And I think that was the only one that I know of. It's not like the teachers union were getting pensions like that ever.
But also, like, fuck the idea of a pension and make Social Security actually worth a damn.
Well, that's true too.
Like,
that's true too.
To flip it back to a socialism.
That's true too.
Like,
but pensions would work if socialism was a thing, because you would just say, yeah, we're going to take a portion of these profits and put it in an account.
Yes.
For the people who earned the fucking profits. Like,
nah, man, they didn't own the profits. I'm the CEO. I earned it.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for me. I'm their boss.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for you showing up for 8 hours of meetings a week.
Mm-hmm.
I heard an interview on CNN, and I forget, it was one of the auto worker CEOs. And it was CNN. It wasn't like a business thing, it wasn't like CNN business. So they were kind of grilling her a little bit, the CEO. And it was kind of nice to see, because they asked her straight up, like, you make 300 times what a regular employee does. Do you bring 300 times the value of a regular employee?
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. She's like, well, it's just because, 90% of my pay is based on, our profitability. And it's like, what they didn't ask, what the follow-up should have been, is, well, how do you determine profitability? By keeping like what you pay workers low? Yep. Does that increase your profitability?
Are you incentivized
maybe lay off
people less?
Interesting. But they can't even, because CEOs never get challenged on this shit in interviews. So like she literally was like, I don't want to talk about this. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's uncomfortable, isn't it? Because it's bullshit, and it's bullshit.
Because it doesn't fucking make sense. Maximum wage legislation. Let's get that through.
Oh my God, I've never even. That's an amazing sequence of words.
Yeah,
I've never heard spoken.
I think it's Japan. I think Japan has a maximum wage Some
That's
people,
why
Japan are-
fucking Iwata's making. I mean, not Iwata. Miyamoto's making less money than fucking Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Raise their maximum wage.
Don't
No.
billionaires in Japan get like murdered on the regular?
Probably.
good.
Miyamoto is not a billionaire.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah. You are a terrible wealth hoarder. Like, there's
Hey man,
a
he made
reason.
Mario. He deserves it.
There's a reason that in all those medieval tales the dragon gets slayed because they're hoarding all the fucking wealth.
Mm-hmm. And because they want to fuck the princess.
Yeah.
Which is weird because it's like you're a dragon and that's a lady. Like, what are
Yeah,
we doing
true.
here?
True.
I'm really, yeah. We're just describing Elon Musk right now.
That's crazy.
It's not wrong.
I forgot one of the other reasons that they're trying to impeach Janet, that they one of their other logics is that how much donation she took from Democrats.
But like
Wait,
this is
what?
like the Hunter Biden thing. Do they really want to go after people for taking money?
Yeah.
Like, is that really like what they want? Just like is that really what they want to do?
So, and this is
If they go after her, they'll go after you.
this is a PBS article.
Crazy.
So, like, while it has a lot more teeth than a lot of things are going to, it is still rather toothless. And it even says, but conservatives also contributed to the other candidate who was running roughly, and it's like less money. It's less money, but he still was also
by
getting
$7.
No, by like $1 million. Like, she got a lot of money for her
The
campaign.
difference between $9 and $10 million for these people is insignificant.
Oh yeah,
it is insignificant.
Yeah, it's just
what it was is, again, this is polling and this was think tanks, and the Republican National Committee said they're not going to win.
Yeah,
we're not going to keep pouring money into this.
Out.
If they thought they had a chance, they would have spent more than $10 million.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit, dude. It's all fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's idiotic. So they're trying to impeach her so that they can stay in power. That's it.
Yeah. So
Yep. That's how it goes.
So that fucking Robin Voss can stay our assemblyman speaker. God, I hate that man.
sounds like a tool.
Yeah. Yep. And a real big idiot. But Janet can rest easy knowing that she is not the only person that Wisconsin state Republicans are trying to impeach, because they're also trying to impeach our top election administrator.
Of course.
Election administrators are nonpartisan. It's kind of like a 3-3 type of situation. Like, leans both ways. So the person who's in charge, her term ended. No one else has been nominated, so she gets to stay on. That is precedent in Wisconsin. So she's there. So they're trying to impeach her for that, because they tried to fire her last week by a vote of the Senate, I believe. And since they had no grounds, there was nothing, like, she didn't do anything wrong. Immediately, the state attorney general was like, no, and sued them. So that's in the courts right now. So she's still allowed to do her job. So now they've moved on to trying to impeach her. Why? Because she, rightly so, said this is the actual result of the 2020 election. And they have hated her since.
You can't be talking that kind of shit.
You can't.
That's crazy.
You can't say what the numbers are.
No.
You can't do addition.
Hey man, that's an unfair advantage. We don't know how to do that.
So yeah,
This coming from the party that benefited from the 2000 election. Just gonna put that out there.
That's in the past. Let the past be the past, man.
I mean, they've had lower numbers since then. They have not won the popular vote since George Bush the First. HW. What did you roll away to?
One of the kids needs the Switch.
Oh, okay.
I'm grabbing in their Switch. Yeah.
I'm now curious. When is the last time
the Republicans
It's been a
won
long
the
time.
popular
It's been
vote?
before.
Have they ever?
Yes.
They're capable of that.
Yeah. Like Reagan won the popular vote.
Yes.
Oh yeah, true.
I would assume HW did.
Too
Oh,
many middle names.
W did in 04, which makes sense. He had that. He had that we're killing Middle Eastern people bump.
Islamophobia in America in the early aughts, man, so bad. People like to pretend it wasn't a thing.
It was
so bad.
It was very in vogue.
Mm-hmm.
Just cool that George Bush, like he wasn't so bad now that we've had time.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God! Anytime that something tries to frame George Bush as a reasonable person, I think I go a little crazier. Like I think I lose.
That was a high tide situation.
I lose just a little more sanity
with McCain and Romney.
Yep.
They were like, those were respectable opponents.
Like,
yeah.
Anytime, because right now they're trying to defund the the HIV initiatives that were funded under Bush. And George Bush is like, you can't do that. That's terrible to people. Like it is. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that.
Totally.
But George Bush saying you shouldn't do that doesn't make him a good person.
Yeah. The bar is in hell.
Guess what? Straight white people get HIV too.
Hell. Yeah, right. It's not inherently like, right. No, that's a good
Statistically, it is more likely to be a cis straight white man.
Right now. Yeah,
yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
Just fucking anytime I see one of his paintings.
His paintings. That shit's hilarious.
I just lose it a little.
He should have died on that pretzel, bro. The pretzel almost took this man out. Like it was that fucking close, bro. He should have finished the job.
Who's gonna impeach the pretzel?
Who's gonna impeach the pretzel?
They would if they could.
Would they?
I just remember the first time I saw that man had a band-aid on his head, and the media was going crazy. Like, what happened? They're like, oh, he smacked his head joking on a pretzel. Like, oh my God, he could have died.
But he was beautiful. Also the shoe. He went in the bullet time.
Somebody threw that shoe at him, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, now if I remember correctly, though, I mean, credit where credit is due. That man dodged the shoe pretty
That's
decently.
what I'm saying.
He did dodge.
He's pretty good. He bullet timed it. Yeah, that shit was impressive.
He
just watched Matrix and was like, I can do that.
He hit the right buttons on the Q2E. He was like, oh yeah, triangle.
But he did do it though. He did do it though.
He did it.
Also, that guy, I wonder what happened to that man who threw the shoe.
He did. Good someone recently interviewed him about stuff, and they asked him, and he's like, I don't regret that. Something in me told me I should throw the shoe at him, and I did.
They should have asked him what he would throw at Trump or Biden. Yeah. Fuck it.
Give that man a medal.
Is he not in prison?
I don't.
Is he not in prison?
I don't think so.
Yeah, then why would you regret it? That's what I'm saying. Then why would you regret it? Fuck that.
Even though it didn't even make contact. They could have killed him.
Oh, they could have killed him. Yeah. They could have. Well, they could have murdered that man on the spot.
The tip could have just right in the temple, and that would have
could have dislodged a brainstem.
Look, man, I've seen Austin Powers. One of the assassins used a shoe.
Yep,
as his weapon of choice.
Random task.
Sure.
So
I get
true.
What?
Joker used a pencil too. So if a pencil could do it,
the guy's name in Austin Powers, I get it confused with the actual Bond villain that they're.
I don't know anybody's name in Austin Powers.
One of them is Odd Job, and the other one is Random Task.
Oh, Random Task, yeah, that's the Austin Powers one. Odd Job is yeah.
Odd Job throws his hat.
Isn't that? I thought Odd Job was a 007 thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. They're making fun of
okay,
of
007. Austin Powers is entirely a parody on 007.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch that.
Yeah. Specifically like a Roger Moore.
Austin Powers has
means.
Yeah, I started saying it, and I said this gives AJ no context.
Yeah, it gives me absolutely
like,
this is Roger Moore. Tell me more.
It's like me saying I don't know colors are, and you're like, like blue. Like I just told you, I don't know what that means.
Bro, did you just use the thing to describe the thing?
Yeah,
That's crazy. What an episode.
Yeah, so
It is one of
basically
them.
I live in a
Terrible state.
in a hellscape
Sure.
politically.
People like you were important though, man. It's important that you live there.
It's important that I live here. It's important that I live here and I vote the way I do.
Yeah.
It's actually very important.
Yeah.
87% of the time, we choose the president. So sorry for 2016, and I guess you're welcome for 2020. Okay. Yeah, we don't really, we don't usually read chat during an episode, but we have in chat, not gonna gatekeep terrible states, but I got y'all beat in Texas. That is true, Fernie.
That is true. That is true. You ain't getting much worse than that.
Yeah,
except
Texas
for Florida. Like
is-
if you were Florida,
fact.
I guess Florida.
Yeah,
Florida probably wins. Maybe actually no. Texas probably still worse than Florida. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know, man. Are we sure about too? Like, we're really skipping over like the Alabamas and the Georgias. You know, like
I don't know.
I think Texas is worse than both of those. Like
think-
I feel like if Alabama had more power, it would have it beat.
If
But
someone
Texas-
told me-
sure.
If someone
got a
told
big
me
economy.
that DeSantis got off on like strangling puppies, I'd be like, wow, I think that's a little too high-minded for him.
Mhm.
But if someone told me that Greg Abbott got off on strangling puppies, I'd be like, yeah, checks out.
Yeah, for sure.
Checks out. That man, definitely. So
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I'm
get
not
much
sure what
worse than
point
that.
that makes, but I feel you.
that
Texas is
is
worse.
Texas is more evil.
Yeah.
Then Florida?
Yes, not by far, but it's definitely noteworthy.
I think it's different. It's a different kind of evil because Florida got more old people and Texas got more young people.
No,
That's not maybe not true though. Texas got a lot
Texas
of
is
old
just
money,
large. Texas is just large. Has more of everything. But that's the thing. It's large, so it has more of everything. It's just bigger Florida, which is not good.
Less swamps.
Ugh. Let's fucking get rid of both of them.
Just saw them both
Hey,
off.
I don't disagree.
Send us to
We got a lot
Canada.
of people in Texas. Y'all gotta move. I'm sorry. I know that's usually the thing that people say, but y'all got let's band together. Let's crowdfund.
It's kind of tough though because it's like we need people living in Texas to vote.
Yes.
No, let them
You know?
succeed. Let them succeed. They already
Yeah, they
wanted to get the
won't,
fuck out of
though.
here.
Yeah, I wish.
They
I
tried.
fucking wish. Yeah,
let them go this time.
Let them go.
Like what do they have? Some farming, oil, ports. Texas would probably do it okay for itself by itself.
Oh yeah, Texas is a net positive.
Yeah.
In terms
Yes.
of finances.
Anytime that like Republicans used to say that about California, like why don't you just secede already? It's like, okay, you trying to tank our GDP? Like what the like I thought you cared about this country.
A lot of like the senators who will say that shit though too, where they're in the state that is directly benefiting from Texas having a surplus.
Yeah. They're in states that are funded by
insane.
blue states.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because red states are bankrolled by blue states.
Yeah, that's the country.
That's facts. I mean, which I want to say
That's why
is
get them
not
out
a
of here. Let
bad
them fucking
thing.
I wish, dude.
Let them go. We don't need them.
Literally don't. Literally don't. Y'all kind of a drag, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We just gotta attach them all to Texas, and then Texas's GDP could support them. You know what I'm saying? We're good. Clean cut.
So who makes it in this new? Like we've got, is it like West Coast, most of East Coast?
Yeah.
In your new country?
I mean, it's really just like we're cutting off like the bottom bits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna
I get to
it's
stay.
gonna be like a horseshoe. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to look like
We do
ovaries.
unfortunately keep Ohio in this.
We got to make sure we include Oklahoma on the getting the fuck out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's got to
Yeah.
start far enough over.
It's got to start in like the north south.
Yeah, there's going to be some Alaskas, like that's what's going to, like, it's not all going to be connected. We got some islands floating around.
Wait, Alaska's definitely following Texas.
Oh, yeah, Alaska-
Just
I
so we're
agree.
clear.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
just saying.
okay.
I'm just saying. If we look at the United States currently, Alaska is not a part of it, but
So,
it's a part of it.
Either Alaska
Maybe
is
we should
out-
do a tier list. We should do
We're
a
gonna have
tier
some.
list.
I'm down for that.
We should do
I'm
a tier
super
list.
Do a
down.
state.
for that.
Who secedes? Who gets to stay? Who has to go? Tier list.
Because like I
super
feel
down
like
for that
Alaska's a
too.
little more nuanced than that. Alaska to me is like
It's not. It's not.
we'll-
That's crazy.
we'll keep Alaska if we
more
kick
than
out all
more
the
than
white
Texas
people.
and Florida. I don't know.
I don't know. Did you ever talk to somebody who was born in Alaska?
No.
No,
They're not
have
the
not.
brightest people, man.
I mean, I believe that.
Well, of course they don't
They
have
come
light
across.
half the year.
Oh, that's boo, boo.
Fucking boom.
They just. I can't. I don't want to be mean, man, but like
Fine with being mean. Fuck them.
they don't do good. It's
Did you
not.
say-
They don't do good in the real
Did
world.
you say I don't want to be mean on this podcast?
He did.
don't wanna-
He did say that.
I don't want to
You
like
did.
type. I want to be clear too. When I say people from Alaska, I'm not talking about indigenous people from Alaska. I'm talking about white people born in Alaska. They're not. They're built different, you know. But I don't think they're built well. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Fair.
just different. Different ain't better.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think that they would. I don't think there's that much nuance. A state that was like, what's her name? The one chick. I can see Russia from my backyard.
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember.
Yeah, I want to say Nancy Pelosi.
No, it's
No,
not Nancy
no.
Pelosi,
I know it's
um,
not. You
Oh
want
my god. Oh my god.
and then I want to say Sarah
Tina-
Huckabee Sanders, and that's
Tina
not
Fey
it.
played her.
Yeah, Tina Fey played her great.
Oh my god, what is her
Sarah
name?
Palin.
Sarah Palin.
Sarah
Yeah.
A
You're right
state
about
that went
the Sarah
all in
part.
on Sarah
Eh?
Palin.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking crazy.
Made
There's
that
no
woman
nuance
their
there.
governor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like about it.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, like, I've lived in some states with some pretty shitty governors, so I can't. But I don't think anyone's ever been. No one's been Sarah Palin.
Low bar again,
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
yeah. But I did have the governor for a while, so that was cool.
true.
Good old,
Is it
Good
cool?
good old Arnold. Arnold Schwarzenegger was an interesting governor.
wasn't he actually a decent governor?
He was actually a really good governor, who was limited by the fact that like he was a Republican because he was married to a Kennedy. But he got the state
Kinda
out of
crazy that
debt.
he could be governor.
Like,
That's kind of crazy. That's crazy that you could be a governor but can't be a president.
yeah, he like
Kind of wild.
California was in a lot of debt when he took over,
Mhm.
and then by the end of his 2 terms, we had a surplus. Like
Mhm.
it fostered a lot of stuff.
How did that even happen? Granted, I mean, it's not that different from Reagan,
California?
I guess. But
Tax cuts, yeah.
no, him.
An
Oh,
actor getting
Yeah,
elected.
him.
I mean, Donald Trump won
Yeah.
presidency, dog.
how did it
Like, what
happen?
are you doing here?
It's actually much easier than that. So we voted out the governor midterm in California, and
Okay.
so the way that works is you don't have like a get down to 2 people, 8 people run,
Mhm.
and so like he didn't even win 50%.
Oh,
So it's all
gotcha.
name recognition. Like it is just
Mhm.
straight name recognition.
He Bodie McBoat faced it.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
He was the Bodie
Gotcha.
McBoatface.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, he was the governor. It's great.
Fair.
Fucking wild. I think that's it. We did an episode.
Efficiency.
We got into socialism too.
We
That
got
was
into a
crazy.
lot of
Sure.
socialism.
Sure, we had a whole socialism section.
That was the circus.
Which
Remember that one
honestly-
can it guns for porn
you.
tribe? Oh no.
Oh my
Okay,
God,
we're ending
I
this
do
before
not.
we relitigate a decades old California governor race at this point. Because I was still a child. So thanks everyone
You're
for
still
tuning
a child at heart.
in. To stay up to date on all things Beanscast, join the Discord at tinyurl.com/Beanscast. Archive of the live show goes up Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time on the YouTube. Can't speak.
Reading is cringe.
I'm sorry for reading.
Dude,
I thought I was gonna do
you
well.
know, with the extra pressure when AJ's here too, it's just like, oh, fuck.
I know.
I'm
Can't
just
fuck
waiting.
this up.
You know what? You know what? That's the end. That's the end of the
Damn,
episode.
Ended.
That's the end of the episode.
Fair.